In with that All-Siouxland quarterfinal, which is between two teams with no love lost, and Hinton and Woodbury Central will pick things up. 126 pounds. This is Quentin Smith rolling his opponent over here, and while his teammates believe he has the pin, Smith settles for back points and a tech fall victory to make it 20-0 Blackhawks. Woodbury Central gets their first win of the duel at 138. Gavin Wigg able to get to the back for three. He'd win in a tech fall, and it's 25-5. Lincoln Linden gets a pin at 150 for the Wildcats, and now it's 31-11. And at 165, Holden Cole right in front of the Hinton bench pins a Blackhawk. It's 31-20, but at 175 pounds, Jackson Kunkel gets three right here. He'd win with a pin. Hinton heads to the semifinals with a 37-34 win. So Woodbury Central up against Logan Magnolia in the consolation semifinals. 113 pounds. Nathan Benedicts powers through his opponent, gets his head free for the takedown. He'd win in a major decision, but Loma leads 6-4. However, heading into the final four matches, it's the Panthers in front big, but at 174, the Wildcat able to turn his man over. He gets the pin, and the Wildcats are in business, but trail 32-25. 190 pounds, and it's Cameron Zelmer with the big slam here, right into a fall, and the big fella has the Wildcat faithful fired up. Now it's 32-31. 215 pounds. Carter Wright doing Carter Wright things. What goes up must go down. The slam into back points. Wright wins in a tech fall. So it all comes down to Brody Hageman at heavyweight. The sophomore looking like David against Goliath at 285, but forget a slingshot. Hageman able to sling his opponent to the ground, keep position, and heavyweight Brody Hageman seals it. Woodbury Central is heading to the Consolation Championship. They'll fight for fifth after a 42-32 win. What was going through your head heading into that one?
Don't get on my back, put him on his back.
Yeah, pretty tight duel. You know, just got the rest of my match, wrestled smart. That kid's not better than me, and just wrestling physical my match.
Hinton in the semifinals against top seed Don Bosco, but the Don's rolling. 140 pounds, Dawson Youngblood wins with a pin. A battle at 150 though. Carson Rober comes up with a takedown, but he'd fall in a controversial decision, 9-7. A little more controversy at 157. Tommy Tanner with a reversal and looks to be nearing a pin when they're called out of bounds, with Tanner still having a point of contact in play, but he'd fall in major decision. Hinton would get a win though. 190 pounds, Zach Anderson able to get to the back for three. He'd win in a decision, but Don Bosco would win the duel 52-15. We'll have action from the third and fifth place duels tonight at 10, but for now at the Extreme Arena in Coralville, Jason Moeller, KTIV Sports Force.